File, in this February 27, 2020, file photo, Education Secretary Betsy DeVos pauses as she testifies during a hearing of a House Appropriations Subcommittee on the fiscal year 2021 budget on Capitol Hill in Washington. Students returning from their unprecedented break from school could find themselves making up lost time in summer classes, or in the evening or on Saturday. Administrators say everything is on the table as they begin to think beyond the immediate needs of teaching through the pandemic to measuring and making up for lost learning once the worst has passed. DeVos has said she hopes schools will test students in the fall to gauge where they are academically, particularly because this spring's standardized tests that might have provided a barometer were canceled. AP photo, Alex Brandon, file, copyright 2020 The Associated Press. All rights reserved. San Francisco, the U.S. Department of Education is attempting to take pandemic relief funds away from K-12 public schools and divert the money to private schools. Michigan and 4 other Democratic-led states argued in a lawsuit filed Tuesday against the Trump administration. California Attorney General Xavier Becerra and Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel announced the lawsuit, which was joined by Maine, New Mexico, Wisconsin and the District of Columbia. The suit also names Education Secretary Betsy DeVos as a defendant. Becerra said the department unlawfully interpreted the Coronavirus Aid, Relief and Economic Security Act, which established guidelines to distribute $13.2 billion in aid to schools nationwide using Title I funds earmarked for students from low-income families. The department's interpretation will instead allow school districts to get funds based on their total student population, leading tens of millions of dollars to be diverted from public schools in the poorest districts to private institutions with tuition similar to that charged by private colleges, the lawsuit says. Today's announcement is about stopping the Trump administration's latest effort to steal from working families to give it to the very privileged, Becerra said. Department of Education Press Secretary Angela Morabito said that while the department does not comment on pending litigation, the secretary has said many times, this pandemic affected all students, and the CARES Act requires that funding should be used to help all students. On a call Monday with Vice President Mike Pence and the nation's governors, DeVos said governors have not taken advantage of the funding and so far only $195 million has been used. Under the rule issued by DeVos, school districts are ordered to set aside a portion of their aid for private schools using a formula based on the total number of private school students in the district.